Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. We're back with your favorite podcast, Luca's Tigers and Bronze. Oh my.
Well, Luca Nation, we're recording this live for you guys.
Thursday night, what is it called? Thursday Night Football Special Edition preview by Cage.
Thursday Night
Cage
Football.
Lawyer.
Thursday Night Football. I love Thursday Night Football. And there's some Thursday Night Basketball too, but we want to do, we had a lot of people asking for this stuff. And, we did an NFL preview last week just because we promised that to you. And then we did kind of like an NFL recap and, sports. We had a crazy sport day yesterday where there wasn't basketball, there wasn't football, it's just baseball, right? And today we get all of it. It's all back, but it's Thursday Night Football, and it's a real fun one, right? So I think it makes sense to put out a quick preview episode for you guys, especially regarding Thursday night's game. And we'll try to do this again on Sunday, maybe Sunday morning, give you kind of like a preview thing, if it's something you're interested in. Let us know.
But let's get into it, man. I have my plan. I did a little research right before today's call. I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's a different one than I've done in a while, and I'm really excited to bring it to people. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the play. But first, I know you are high on Baker Mayfield. I think you're a little bit delusional. I think, but that's okay.
So let me tell you why, right?
What do you
so
see?
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm doubling down on Baker Mayfield, right? So you can't judge somebody based on week one, and especially if week one is against the Baltimore Ravens defense and their offense, which, it makes it impossible to really do anything. I mean, that was, it's Lamar Jackson, it's the Ravens defense. It's a tough week one matchup. And I would submit to you that if anybody's out there selling their Tom Brady cards because he lost in week one, then, you probably should get out of the card game to begin with, right? So, it's the same kind of thing, right? And Baker Mayfield, he's an inconsistent quarterback. He is a very inconsistent quarterback. But Cleveland did everything they needed to do, right? He's got no shortage of offensive weapons. And in the offseason, they went out and they addressed his offensive line. And this is a guy who he's going to go out there tonight and play against the Bengals. And we can talk about the Bengals and the matchup and Joe Burrow in a moment. But I've been watching Sports Center. I've been watching all of the sports shows, all of the pundits, everybody talking for the last couple of days, and it's a short week. I've been listening to everybody talking about Baker Mayfield. I saw the instant reactions right after Sunday. I have seen nothing positive about Baker Mayfield at all. Literally no one come out and say a positive thing about him. Instead, what I've seen is it's time for them to have an awkward conversation with Baker Mayfield. It's time to talk about whether or not he's going to be starting anymore. It's time to see that if Cleveland's going to be bad, are they going to be in the Lawrence sweepstakes? The quarterback of Clemson. Is the Baker Mayfield? Is the Baker Mayfield experiment over? Should they be tanking for?
You don't know who Sunshine is. You don't know who Sunshine is.
I can
remember the Titans.
Yes.
Remember the Titans, Sunshine.
Yes. But now you need to do the dance, and then we got to get it up on YouTube. There he goes. By the way, Luca Nation, we're going to get on YouTube. We have to because you got to see this guy. He just did a little Remember the Titans dance. So here's the fun. I think it was Randy Moss talking this morning. I forget who exactly it was. Came on and said that Cleveland should be fielding calls about Odell Beckham from the Niners, from New England Patriots, that they're not going anywhere, so they should just forget about building it up. They should just be breaking it down and hitting the reset button. I can't believe that that's where professionals are going after 1 week and 1 week against the Ravens, right? Now, this is a guy who did not play spectacular football last year, true, but remember what he did the year before, closing it down, right? And yeah, I think everything fell into place. But think about what he's dealing with now. He's hearing all this stuff, right? And he has what I would consider a dream matchup. I know Joe Burrow is good. I know the Bengals are better. I think Joe Burrow is a good thing to invest your money in. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's in for the long haul. I think he's got the brain and the physical attributes to make him a very good quarterback for a very long time. But he's played one NFL game. He lost. He put his team in a position to tie, and his kicker let him down. But he lost one NFL game. And it is a tall order. And it's weird because I haven't heard any of the pundits mention this at all about tonight's game. It's a tall order to ask a rookie quarterback to come back after 4 days and get ready for another game. right? I mean, this is a short week. They just played, right? They don't have a full regiment of practice. They don't have a full whole nine. He's a rookie QB. Never done this before. Never had to do it in college, I'm sure. It's a short week. He's coming back, and you got to play against the team that is very improved. I'm pretty sure Cleveland's favored in the game, and I think Baker Mayfield has to go out and shut everybody up tonight. I really do. I believe he's going to have one of those games where, is he perfect? No. Right? Does he have 5 touchdowns and no interceptions and 450 yards? No. But he's got the weapons. It's against a very different team that he had in week 1. And it really is, I mean, as much as it can be for a player, it really is one of those show me type of games. I mean, all of the articles, all of the talk, everything is, are we done with Baker Mayfield? Which is absurd because think of the talent that you have there, right?
And let me ask you, let's do a little rapid fire real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
NBA, Frank Vogel got hired just last year. Lakers are in contention to make the finals. Mm-hmm. Football, the Browns have gone through, I think, 4 coaches in 3 years, something like that.
Yep.
Why does that matter? Why is it so different in NFL versus NBA to have that continuity of coach and system?
Well, so I think that the NFL, more than anything else, is it's a team game, right? And I think that in the NBA, while you're talking team and you see it in the playoffs, that obviously a team like the Heat goes further than a team that's individual driven. While the quarterback drives the game, schemes are huge. It's about knowing what the strength of your players are and then scheming for them. It's the Baltimore Ravens coaches last year realizing that Lamar Jackson was a special talent and then scheming for him, right? Building a team around him that plays to his strengths. And I think, and we talked about this in the NFL preview, I think that Stefanski, the new coach for them, is doing that for Baker Mayfield. We'll see that better in a game now against a good defense, but not the Ravens defense, against the Bengals. See what he can do. Go ahead. What do you got?
Scheme. So I kind of have an understanding of what that is, but for our people just jumping into football, plain terms, what does scheming really mean? And do you think the fact that there was no real preseason, will that hurt schemes?
Well, I mean, it does. So yes, I think the perfect example of no preseason hurting someone was Tom Brady, right? And you can almost say the same thing with Baker Mayfield because it's a new coach, right? You have to spend some time working out your guys. You have to spend some time, getting your timing down with your receivers. You have to build up a rapport. You have to build up a continuity with them. And part of what makes Drew Brees great is, he could probably throw the ball to Michael Thomas in his sleep now. You know what I mean? He's done it for years, right? He knows where he's going to be. They're in sync with one another, and there's something to be said about that, right? And I think you saw it last week with Phillip Rivers. He had a lot of yards, but he'll even get better. That team will get better. It takes a little while to gel, right? So yeah, I think the lack of a preseason hurts a lot of people that did not come in with everything the same, right? I think that teams that carried over, it didn't change that much. Teams like the Saints, that they started the season with a huge leg up because of that. I really do. But yeah, I mean, it's a great point, and I think you're going to see now they get a little bit of legs under them. I think you'll see the Bucs get better. Tough to pull the Saints in week 1 also. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing, right? Because you have a week 2 game. I'm almost saying now that this is like a must win, not just for the Browns, right? Because the Browns are the Browns, but for Baker Mayfield himself, right? He knows what's at stake. So yeah, I think you got to come out and you got to get your get your best Baker Mayfield, and we'll also see whether or not his team plays for him. I don't know how you feel about Odell Beckham, right? Some people really, he's a polarizing guy. Some people think he's one of these like generational talents, and some people think that he's just all for himself. He has to know also that he's playing for Baker Mayfield. Maybe he doesn't want to play for Baker Mayfield. Maybe he wants a new guy throwing him the ball. Who knows? I mean, so a lot to be learned.
Football's the ultimate chess match because it has a lot of structure to it. It's like these are the plays we run. You run 15 yards out, turn right. But at the same time, throughout that structure, you also have audibles, you have nuance, you have recognizing a blitz, and instead of running 15 yards, you go 3 yards and out to the left, right?
Yep.
So I think it's such an interesting game because it has so much complexity.
Yep.
But I think a really good coach is able to take that complexity and simplify it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to know your strong suits of your players and know what they're not, right? You have to, I remember as a kid watching Brett Favre play and watching Mike Holmgren as coach. Every once in a while, look like he's going to pull his hair out, right? And some of the plays that Favre would make, underhand passes, scrambles, and fall over and still make the play. The way that his coach looked in the beginning of the play, as opposed to the way his coach looked at the end of the play, it was like, no. Oh, what a great play. Like, and sometimes you gotta get a riverboat gambler as your quarterback. You gotta roll.
Favre was my favorite player. Favre was my first football card that I got, my favorite player. What I remember about him, because he wasn't the most talented quarterback by any means, is he's a gamer. He was just like, he wouldn't go down. He's very gritty. He was able to make something out of nothing. And I don't know, like, how do you quantify that quality, right? I think what makes Mahomes so special is he's a competitor, he's a gamer, but he's also probably the most talented quarterback, maybe only behind Aaron Rodgers, and arm strength. And I think a big thing in football is quick release. How quick the ball could go from your hand to right? Like, if you have a big, backswing, arm swing, I know they break that down. If you drop your elbow too far, it's easier for a defense. And I think what makes Mahomes so special is he could throw the ball from different angles accurately. I think Rodgers could do that, and that's why he's had so much success, even with kind of B-level talent other than Devontae Adams.
Yeah, but I mean, all the people you just named and all of the coaches, they know what the talent is, and they don't scheme an offense. They don't put an offense together that bridles their players. You know what I mean? Favre was better on the run. Rodgers is better scrambling. Mahomes is better scrambling. So what these guys do is, they actually work a scramble into the offense. It's a design rollout. It's a design screen. It gives them the option to run the ball if they need to. Some of the old school coaches, which would be just straight drop back quarterback, they would hamper the development and the abilities of some of those quarterbacks. Whereas Bill Belichick had to create an offense for Tom Brady that was all about quick release, 2-3 step drop and throw, because he's a statue back there. He's not avoiding any contact. The first guy who comes in is going to sack him every single time. But yet he didn't get sacked that often, because what they do, whether it was Wes Welker for a decade or Julian Edelman or whoever it is, they basically invented that slot receiver, right? Where they couple yards and cut across the middle, couple yards, button hook, and it worked. And, you build, that's the scheme, right? You build an offense around your players. And my hope coming into the year, and we'll see a little better tonight because, again, it's not the Ravens, whether or not the new coach for Cleveland has schemed and built something for Baker Mayfield. And, I mean, it's a great transition before we get into our specific card picks tonight. You talk about Gem Mint Photo Studios as our partner. We've actually signed on with another partner for us here. And I'm very happy to announce this one, because it really goes with what we've been talking about with cards, right? So cards have almost become sort of like an extension now of daily fantasy plays.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm sure a lot of people who are out there tonight are listening to this play and say, okay, well, not only am I going to go looking for cards, but maybe he's right. Baker Mayfield might have a really good game tonight, right? And if Baker Mayfield has a good game, let me go look at, putting him in a fantasy lineup, right? So we've actually signed on. We got a promo code just for our listeners. We've signed on with a fantasy app and a fantasy company called Thrive Fantasy. And we'll, when we post this episode, we'll put a link up so that you can go directly to the app, you name it. Basically, you enter the code LucaNation20 once you sign up for Thrive Fantasy. It's, again, LucaNation20. And upon signing up, you make your first $20 deposit. They'll give you another $20. So it's, an instant 100% match, basically. $20 to sign up, $20 to log in. And it's pretty cool, right? So I've done fantasy. I don't know, Andrew, whether you do fantasy before this. This has got a real cool spin on fantasy because it's about props. So this is a daily fantasy sports app based on player props. So instead of you put in a guy, Baker Mayfield, and say you're going to get X number of points based on his completions, his yards rushing, his yards passing, they give you a Vegas-style player prop like I looked for today, Baker Mayfield over or under 240 passing yards. And if you go, one of them is going to be a favorite, one is not. So over gets you 100 points and under gets you 95 points. Odell Beckham Jr. over under 6 catches. And if you get over, it gets you, 100 points. Under gets you 90 points. So, I mean, it's really a cool thing. They have specifics just for tonight's game. They are, they have NBA, MLB, PGA. They have esports, which is a pretty crazy thing that they're in. For PGA, which there's a PGA event right now, they have contests for every day of the tournament. Thursday only, Friday only, you name it. And why we're happy to be partnering with them, not only is Luca Nation with code LucaNation20 going to get a free $20 to play on their site, but they've already given away $1.5 million in prizes since launching in 2018. They have a 50,000 guaranteed prizes weekly. So again, use promo code LucaNation20 when you sign up today, and you receive an instant $20 bonus of your first deposit of $20 or more. So I'm thrilled because we can only bring you guys this type of stuff because of your support of our podcast, of all the amount of times you're listening. The listener numbers are up like crazy, and we bring you this on our 2-month anniversary today. So happy anniversary there, partner. We dropped our first episodes to you guys on July 17th, and so today is actually 2 months in, and we have 2 awesome sponsors that really dovetail with what we're trying to bring you, which I think we're the only ones out there doing this. We're doing sports commentary. We're giving you sports analysis before the games, after the games, and then dovetailing that in with the cards themselves. And Andrew and I are going to give you card picks as well. And I think it's just a really cool combination, and I don't think anybody else out there is doing it. We talked to Chris from House of Jordan, and he said the same thing, that that's one of the cool little areas in the podcast world that we kind of own right now. So we're happy to be bringing you this this promo code again, LucaNation20, and it's because of you guys that we're able to do it, and we think it provides some value for you guys. I know most of you guys out there listening to this probably play fantasy sports already. This is a cool way of playing fantasy sports in a different way. And I don't know about you, Andrew. I mean, I haven't bet in a while, but when I did bet football, prop bets was always the fun way to do it. I always love betting props, and the average bettor likes it more. You bet more on the Super Bowl. Props betting is the way to go, right? So it's a pretty cool, different way to play fantasy. And we're happy to be we're happy to be supported by Thrive Fantasy, and we're happy to bring them on as a as a partner.
Yeah, I agree. And I did a little, I have that in me. I did a little research on them after Cage mentioned them to me. And I always want to make sure that the company that we're bringing you in a partnership is credible. And they just, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cage, this is what Crunchbase says. They just secured a $1 million seed fund round. They've been in business for almost 4 years now. The founder, the CEO is Adam Weinstein, right out of New York City here. And believe it or not, Cage is going to like this. His experience before starting Thrive in 2016, New York Yankees.
There you go.
So,
how do I not like that? So it's a winner. And you're going to be a winner, too, when you use code LucaNation20. And I won't bring it up again. But listen, guys, we love it. We are trying to bring these kind of partnerships to you because they really are no lose for you guys. You want to do it, go right ahead. You don't want to do it, don't. But, here we are talking about football. I'm telling you, Baker Mayfield's going to go out and ball tonight. If you buy what I'm selling, if you think I'm right, get out there and put in that he's going to have, more than 200-something yards passing and get that in your lineup. I know I did.
I love it. Let's go into our plays.
Yeah, so my play, how could it be anything other? Right now, I looked today before I bought them. You could buy Baker Mayfield Prism rookie cards, card number 201, 2018 Prism, for $30, $32, $34. If you want to get a lot, you can get a lot of them. The PSA 10s have come down, but they're still three and change. when you compare it to somebody like Josh Allen, whose PSA 10 is selling for significantly more than that, I honestly don't see it, right? I know Allen's team is really good. I know Allen's team, he's got a better defense overall. He's in a weaker division, so there's chance for playoffs and success there. But I watched Josh Allen play this past week, and I like him. But, he needs to learn what I try to teach my 7-year-old son when we're outside playing football. Don't hold the ball out like a loaf of bread, pal. That's what my coach used to tell me. And then I knocked the ball out of his hands. I mean, come on. How many times are you going to fumble a ball, right? So I know Mayfield intercepts, throws interceptions and whatnot. But, I just look at it, and it was almost like an Andrew play for me, right? So you look at comparisons, right? That BGS 9.5 versus the PSA 10. I look at, the people who are, I'd compare Baker Mayfield to somebody who's had a couple good games, somebody who's had a half a season, good, Danny Dimes, Kyler Murray, these guys have potential, right? But their cards are so much more than Baker Mayfield's cards. And Mayfield's got some real talent around him. Is he winning the Super Bowl this year? No. But do I think he takes a step forward from what he did last year? 100%. And, this is one where, you buy the card for $30, you buy the card for $35, and he goes on a little bit of a run on an easier part of his schedule and actually puts together a couple of good games, and you can double your money on the card. It's my play. Card number 201, 2018, Baker Mayfield Prism.
So I'm going to take the other side of this. But I'm going to give you a system, not just a play. So how many PSA 10 Joe Burrow cards do you think are out there in a Bengals jersey?
Not many at all, right? Because what do you have? Did Score even have him in a Bengals jersey, right? I don't think it did, right? So Mosaic is out. And, there might be some people who got some BGSs back, but PSA, they're not going to return them to you in a day, right? So it can't be that many at all.
So what does that tell you about the condition of the cards available on eBay?
That they're probably pretty good because – people are listing right now. So that's a cool thing also. Right now, you have a better chance if you're going to talk about like Mosaic football that has them in it, right? Right now, people are breaking that and listing the cards. People are breaking them and they're sending the PSA, sure, but people are breaking them and listing it. In 2 or 3 months, the cards that are going to be left on eBay are the ones that are picked through. Right now, you got a shot of not getting picked through cards. So go ahead.
So here's my play. You go to Facebook groups, you find the breaking rooms. You join the breaking rooms, and you join some other rooms. You look for the Joe Burrow Mosaic cards within your price range, whether that's a silver, whether that's a base, whether that's a numbered version, that's up to you. The number one thing is the condition, and that it was just live ripped, right? So it hasn't been picked through. If you're able to find the deal that you're looking for within your price range, I would 5-day it to PSA, pay what I think it's $75 for a 5-day. And what's cool about 5-day is you get such priority. So 5-day, you'll be back in your hands, I would say, within a month. So you can 5-day using Clay cards. You could 5-day using Marks cards. You could 5-day using KK Sports cards. These are all subbers. You could go through them, or you could go directly to PSA. If you have questions about subbing, we're going to do an episode on that soon. But just send us a DM. But what I would do is and Cage, correct me if I'm wrong here, I would get the Joe Burrow Mosaic, whatever the price range that you're looking for, whether that's the base, the silver, the numbered, and I would 5-day that. And that will be back in your hands in the next 15, 20 days. And I think that at that time, not only am I a believer in Joe Burrow because I think he's a winner, he's actually from Ohio, the way I understand. I think his dad is coaching in that area too, so I love that. Yep. I love winners. I love people that always have won in their lives. You guys know I believe in, mental and mentality so much. And I just think the winning mentality it's the it factor. It's everything. The belief that you're going to change the organization, the belief that you are a winner and that's who you are, that's your identity. I think that's super important. I think Joe Burrow brings that to that organization. So I'm super high on Joe Burrow. And here I'm giving you a system on how to make money on the flip. So all his cards are going to be in gradable condition, 5-day. Get that back in your hands before November. I think you're going to make some serious money on that flip.
I don't like it. I don't like it here, and here's why. Here's why I hate it. I hate it, actually. I can't stand it because I don't like it when you have a better pick than me. So I hate it.
Well, my pick is
what I like the best about it is not just the grade it, the 5-day, the whole deal. Here's my favorite part of this, guys. it's telling you not to go on eBay, right? And it's giving you another option of where to go, right? There are people who break, people who go on Facebook, people who break on Instagram Live. And what Andrew's telling you, this is a really smart thought, and you should go do it before I steal his idea and do it myself, because it actually is a very good idea, Andrew. You see what the cards are selling for on eBay, but you lurk in the breaks. You can get in a break if you want also, but you go into one of the breaks and you're in there in the chat room and you mention, hey, anybody who pulls a Joe Burrow rookie card, I'm paying whatever it is, take 10% off of eBay prices, the last couple sales, and offer it up. You're going to get one that's pack fresh from somebody who's in the break and might not be looking for Joe Burrow. Maybe they're only looking for Tua cards. Maybe they're looking for, Clyde Edwards-Helaire or who the hell knows, right? And you go into a couple of those breaks, and now not only are you getting them for cheaper than eBay, but you're getting ones that are pack fresh, that are not picked through. They're not somebody putting them up on eBay that has already decided that it's not going to grade a 10. So it's a really good suggestion, not just on the play, but on how to maximize your opportunity to make that play pay off for you by getting a good grade on the card. So I like that. It's better than what I gave you. So today, finally, for the first time in 2 months, Andrew has a better play than me.
I feel accomplished. And so we had Colin on, right, from House of Wax.
Yep.
Reach out to him. He's breaking Football Mosaic all the time. Highly recommend it. But I'll give you like a 201 course on this. That card doesn't even have to come to you. You can ask Colin to prep it for PSA, and you just send him the form, and he sends it directly to PSA.
Oh, yeah.
So with an extra $5-10, so you buy this card, you could pay eBay prices. You pay Colin $5-10 for his time. You send that 5-day. You basically had someone rip a card for you and sub it to PSA 5-day. Doesn't you have to ship to you, then you ship to PSA? No need, in my opinion.
It's amazing. Another little shortcut. So here's what's fun. I actually like Andrew's play on Burrow, and despite the fact that I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a good game tonight, I think Cleveland's going to win the game, I think Burrow's going to have a good game too. And I'm long on Burrow. I have not figured out how I'm going to invest in Burrow yet. My favorite is Prism. I think Prism's release date is November 4th this year, unless it gets pushed back. I think the prices are going to be crazy. I'm going to see what I can do to try to get my hands on some, maybe retail, who knows. And that I will be investing in Burrow. But by that time, he might have a couple wins and a couple of good games, and it might be too expensive. But here's what's fun, right? In my lineup tonight, I played the over props on both Baker Mayfield and Joe Burrow, because I think they're both going to have good games tonight. And that's one of those Thrive Fantasy app, Luca Nation 20, will allow you to do. You can get both of them. You can get both. And if you disagree with me and you want to fade them both, you can put the under on both of them. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah, man, listen, I love your pick. And, we have to say thank you, because 2 months ago, I was looking today, just because we had 2 months, I was looking at some of the numbers, some of the posts we made, some of the people we spoke to. What I love about what we're doing here, guys, is, we still talk to some of the people that were our first listeners, right? The first 5 or 10 people. We talk to them pretty often. We try to shout them out on the show.
I still talk to my first girlfriend, so.
Well, that's actually, you should get on a therapist couch somewhere and
kidding.
deal with that issue.
I don't.
But no, so I mean, we love it. We want to take this ride with you, and we're in for the long haul. And what we're seeing coming out of this stuff is it's really great. We really are. We want to just say thank you to you guys for making it possible. To bring you some of these partners, to bring you we're discussing several other promotions with several other people as well. And let us know where you want us to go with this. Let us know if you want us to continue the previews of football games, basketball games, do a Sunday show beforehand, after. We really do take your comments and your messages into account in what we do. And somebody asked for this today, and this is why we're doing a Thursday night preview episode. So thank you guys. We love you. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me add one last thing, then this
Please.
is kind of a bonus. So when you watch stocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so analysts have like these projections of like, I project I'm going to have $2 earnings per share, and then the earnings per share comes in at $2, and actually the stock falls, right? You've seen that before?
Of course.
So how do I apply that to Joe Burrow? So with Zion, when he was coming in, he had the highest of expectations. So anything, you could just have 20 and 15. And if you have expectations of 30 and 20 on your stat line, you're always going to fall underneath of that, and his cards are going to plummet. I think Joe Burrow actually has incredibly low expectations. A team that's never won. So no one's expecting them to make the playoffs.
Well,
They're
here's the thing,
expecting-
right? Name me the last Bengals quarterback that succeeded.
No one. So that's what I mean. He's coming in.
Boomer Esiason, maybe? I mean,
I have no clue. They had that red hair
That's why.
right before him.
Andy Dalton.
Yes. And now
If Andy Dalton is considered a success, then yeah, Joe Burrow should be fine.
he actually was considered a potentially successful quarterback for a little while there because of how bad the Bengals are. But the point is, if he puts up an 8-8 campaign this year with some decent to good stats, I think his cards are going to see a ton of potential for next year, and I think they're only going to keep going up. So
agree.
The play I gave you is a system on how to flip Joe Burrow cards, but I think his cards are going to go up in the meantime too. So I just think Joe Burrow, I watched him at LSU. I kind of like his X factors. I think it's a play that you could win on two sides. You could flip money, grade and flip quickly, and you could grade and hold for a long time and make some serious money.
Listen, I love it, and I love the Zion comparison because, people might look at the Burrow play you have and say, wow, he is expensive. Like, why would I buy him? He's got all this hype. He has hype coming into the season. But the Zion Prism card, when it first came out, earlier this year, when it first came out, it had all the hype in the world, and it was, $50, and you're like, wow, how can this be raw $50 card? But I'm not buying that.
What people said to me, Cage.
I know.
Like, wow,
so
that's
much
the
more.
most $50 for a raw card. I came in as like the new eyes.
Yep.
I was like, this is dirt cheap.
Yep. But now everybody wishes they would have bought that card, and I think the same thing could happen for Joe Burrow. There's a lot of momentum in the sport. People really love that mosaic product too, and people really like Joe Burrow as a quarterback, somebody who's going to be in the league for a long time. So I love the play. I love the play for a quick, easy flip. I love it because even just not for this card, any card you're looking for, your thought process on getting into a break room and having somebody just give you that card instead of having to pick through, what's available on eBay. I love it. I love that probably more than the pick itself. We may drop another episode later. We just wanted to get you out a quick, hopefully before the game, Thursday football preview. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for everything. And thanks for spending 2 months with us. 2-month anniversary today. Thank you.
Love you, Luca Nation. We got a guest episode coming up with Stacking Slabs. Awesome account. Brett from Stacking Slabs. Love his page.
Thank you for spending some time with us on another episode of the Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze Oh My podcast. Do us a favor and like, subscribe. You know what? Don't just like and subscribe. Everybody does that. If you like us, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell everybody. And we hope you got something from spending some time with us today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.